Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast. I am your host, James. Hope you're having a good day. Welcome to episode 13. And first off, I would just like to say, I know I say this every week. Thank you very much for listening, tuning in every week. I couldn't do this podcast without you. For a couple of things. First off, I didn't realize until this recording that episode 12 didn't appear on audio form. I forgot to upload it, so my apologies for that. It is up now as I'm recording this, which is on a Wednesday. So it should have been out on the Monday, but it's out on the Wednesday, so I do apologize with that. And Also, the YouTube channel for our podcast has been deleted accidentally, so I can't tell you how the video of last week's episode did. But not to worry, if you're hearing this right now, you're on audio form only at the moment. So if you listen to us through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Anchor.fm, then welcome. I do appreciate it. The audio files, the audio versions will be coming out as regular. I'm just in the middle of sorting out the YouTube channel. Once that's sorted, I can then re-upload every single episode on that channel, and it'll be up there for everyone to see. So, with that being said, I do appreciate you guys coming in this week. I've just come back from a holiday over the weekend, so that's why things are a little bit frantic. Things are a little bit out of loop right now for me. But I'm happy to be back. Feel refreshed, feel ready to go with a lot more stress until my next leave of absence. So, without further ado, let's get into episode 13, which I think a lot of people are really excited to hear. We're going to be talking about Speed, starring Keanu Reeves, and this movie originally was released in the theaters in the UK on September 30th, 1994. Let's listen in. I love this music. It sets the tone for what this movie is all about. So Speed. One of those hidden gem movies. If you've never seen Speed, then it's a highly recommended film. It's total non-stop action. It's one of those films where it's like edge of your seat through the entire film, where you can just sense the panic and the desperation, not from the main characters and all the supporting characters as well, but you can also feel like the evil and the enjoyment of the humor that the bomber in the film has. You know, it's from start to finish absolutely crazy and very, very cool as well. Very, very cool of a film to enjoy. It I wouldn't consider it a family. It's definitely not a family film. I wouldn't let young children watch this until they're like a little bit older, because in the UK here it's a rated 15 film. Um, so a lot of F words, a lot of S words, and I think in America it's rated R as well, just by the severity of how crazy the film is and how action heavy this movie is. So this movie is starring some of my favorite actors ever. You got Keanu Reeves, you got Dennis Hopper, Sandra Bullock, and Jeff Daniels as well. I don't. I was thinking. I was watching this film before I started recording. I'm not too sure. This might be Keanu Reeves's second or third action film in his career at this point. Because previously, I'm not too sure if this came out before Point Break or Point Break came out before this. So somebody will tell me. But before then, he was doing I think before then he was doing like the Bill and Ted films as well. So I think this is like before the Matrix, really. So about 3 years before the Matrix comes out, I think. So this is a really high impact action film that shows like the serious side of Keanu Reeves, where we know him as like this chill out actor who's willing to do anything to like promote something, i.e., cyberpunk for all you gamers out there, and obviously doing like the John Wick films and whatever he's doing now. So the plot, the line of the story is two LAPD SWAT bomber teams, SWAT officers by the name of Jack Traven, played by Keanu Reeves, and Harry Temple, played by Jeff Daniels, attempt to thwart a hostage situation where a bomber has taken control of an elevator. It's full with people, and he's demanding $3 million to release the hostages. By the time he made that call, he had an hour. The cops had the hour. By the time they get there, it's about 23 minutes. So it's a race against time, really, for them to figure out what kind of bombs they're doing, what the hostages are like, and come up with an idea to thwart the bomber. Little do they know, obviously, that the bomber is really close to them, and he's got the area bugged, and he can hear everything, hear all the conversations, and hear what they're doing. But the bomber's unsure of what to do, so he carries on doing with whatever he is doing in an elevator. While he's doing this, Jack and Harry Fletcher come up with a plan where they grab a small crane, a hook, to hook onto the elevator so it can hold, so they get the passengers out. As they do this, they get the passengers out. The bomber hears what they're doing, presses a button, and the elevator explodes. Runs down basically. A couple of floors, halts, and it's literally holding on by the tether. The tether's just literally holding on by itself. So the cops are getting the people out. They eventually do. Eventually, I say, because there's always one fucking person that is like, no, I can't do it. No, I can't do it. And then they're like, come on. And it's like, come on, you stupid cow. Bring it out. Typical 90s like film, right? Yeah, late 80s, early 90s film. And eventually get everybody out. Everyone's happy. Then they realize the bombers jumped the gun, and they're like, that's not good. And then Keanu Reeves' character, Jack, is like, raises up from the seat and goes, he's here. And then they realize all the elevators are being cleared out apart from freight elevators, which, if any Americans are watching, what the fuck is a freight elevator? To me, an elevator is an elevator, right? So what's the difference between a freight elevator, express elevator? Somebody tell me. I don't know. I'm dumb, right? I'm a dumb Welshman doing a podcast with movies and TV shows. So let me know. And then they realize one of the elevators is occupied, and they can hear somebody working in. They get down. They're about to open the hatch, but the bomber is fucking shooting them with a 12 gauge shotgun. Shoot in. Jeff Daniels falls through the ceiling. Keanu Reeves is like trying to figure out what to do, but the bomber raises the elevator, so he has no choice to jump in. And they get into this little serious, intense conversation about what do you do with a guy strapped with a bomb strapped to a guy's chest. What do you do? Blah 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 blah. And previously, that Jeff Daniels has asked the same question because he's overheard that, and this is kind of like the funny thing throughout the film where they use this "What do you do?" question scenarios, and previously, and uh, Jeff Daniels' character is like, "What do you do in this situation?" Keanu Reeves just goes, "Shoot the hostages." I'm like, "Fucking hell! All right, fucking nuts." But then they do in this situation, they go in this situation, and then and then Jeff Daniels just whispers, "Shoot the hostage," and then Keanu Reeves just shoots him, and he's like, "You fuck!" And it's like it's fun. There is some comical humor in this movie as well, which isn't intended, but it is. But it releases like the tension a little bit. So now the bomber doesn't know what to do. He laughs, walks out the door, and all of a sudden, big explosion, and he's not heard of again. Oh, so we thought. Everybody gets medals. Everybody gets pissed. Everybody gets drunk. Blah, 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 blah. And everyone thinks, right, the bomber's dead. What are we gonna do, right? So the next day, the next day, uh, Jack is getting his morning coffee, as back to normal, like getting his morning coffee, gets his muffins, has a chat with one of the bus drivers, and goes on. Da, da, da. Now you think when you first watch this, you think, oh, that sucks. Like the bomber's dead and whatnot, and where are we going with this movie now? As Keanu Reeves is about to unlock his car, a bus explodes. He sprints to it because he knows the bus driver, and he's like, "See you tomorrow." Boom. No, he doesn't. Obviously, he's dead. Runs to it. Can't do anything about it. Gives up. And then all of a sudden, you hear a payphone going off. Now, if you're born past 2005, none of you know what a payphone is. If you were born before then, you know what a payphone is, and payphones are really really handy. I think they should bring payphones back. Payphones are really really handy these days because if you run out of credit, and you don't have a contract, what do you do? Payphone, right? Anyway, off on a bit of a tangent there about technology. Lovely. I'm drinking Pepsi Max as well while I'm doing this. Um, so Jack answers the phone, and then he realizes it's the bomber from the day before, or the few days before, let's say. And he's like, "What do you want? What do you want to do? And what are we gonna do about this and whatnot?" So he tells him, "Right, I want $3.7 million, or I'm gonna blow up another bus." And Jack is like, "What bus? I need to know what bus is." So you can, the bomber kind of turns into a game. By the way, the bomber is played by the incredible Dennis Hopper, who is fucking outstanding in this film. And to think, previously, a year before this, he was in the Super Mario Brothers film playing King Koopa. So think about that. Super Mario Brothers in 93, 94, playing a maniac bomber in an action film called Speed. Think about that. It's incredible, right? And the bomber is like, "Oh, I'll tell you what the bus is." Gives him the number of the bus. Jack gets in his vehicle and fucking sprints, and it starts off with this adventure, really, of has to save the passengers on this bus. This bus can't. Once this bus goes above 50 miles per hour, it can't go down. Otherwise, it will go explode, killing everybody on it. And the bomber's happy, and everybody's very sad. With this, Keanu is like trying to get trying to get on the bus. The bus driver's like, "No, this is where we meet Sandra Bullock's character Annie, who is in my view, she's kind of like the comic relief. Well, not comic relief, but she acts kind of like a comic relief, but a serious character as well at the same time. Because she's very funny in this, and I'm not too sure if this is one of her first movie roles. I'm not entirely sure, but it's close. It's one of her early. Is it one of her early things movies? I'll look it up. Probably, I think so. And and they got her on the bus. She's on the bus. Everybody's on the bus. The bus is over 50. Candace trying to stop the bus from slowing down, trying to get on. Nobody's interested. Candace gets out of his car, tries to run after the bus, still won't let him on, and then he commandeers a guy's Jaguar and accidentally sped. This guy in the car with Keanu Reeves, he appears in the second Speed film. Spoiler alert. But ends up in the same fucking scenario, which it's funny. This guy's like the comic relief. I think is the main comic relief because he's so funny because he's freaking out and he's like, whatnot. Eventually, the bus driver gets the message then via a piece of paper where it says "bomb on bus." He slows down. Jack realizes slowing down. He's like, "No, stay above 50. Stay above 50." Jack manages to get on the bus. That gets on the bus then by ripping the guy's Jaguar's car door off and jumping on the bus, which is fucking typical action movie thrill, right? I mean, else do you get on a bus, right? Off a moving car into a moving bus, because you missed your stop and whatnot. so, so they do this, and then the bombers trying to ring. It's back and forth. It goes on to this like thrill ride where the bus doesn't go below 50 at all. And the bus, it's like a bus ride from hell, basically, where you're in the middle of rush hour, you can't stop the bus, so you literally have to plow through everything. And a lot of the action is on the bus itself, where you've got a guy freaking out with a gun because there's a cop in the bus. Somebody tries to stop him, and the bus driver gets shot. So Sandra Bullock's character starts driving the bus, even though she has no license, which is fucking hilarious. And the reason why she's got no license is because she was speeding as well. So that's even funnier. So you got a scenario where a bus has got to stay above 50, and you've got a character whose license is revoked for speeding. So you got, hey, this is a coincidence, right? So, which kind of follows it into the second film as well, which is even funnier, which we'll get to one day. So there's a lot of action. They can't stop. They run over kids. They almost run over kids. They mow down a lot of cars. Which is an evil twist in the film, which is even funnier. There's a point in the film where there's a lady who pushes like a pram, and they don't see it till the last minute, and the bus hits the pram, and you're thinking, "Oh my god, they've just hit the baby, they've just killed the baby, whatnot," and everyone's devastated. But as soon as the carriage hits the floor, it's just full of cans, and everyone's like, "Oh, fucking sigh of relief." Keanu Reeves is laughing his head off because he's like, "Oh fuck, it's cans. Thank fuck for that." Sandra Bullock is freaking out because she's like thought she's fucking killed a fucking child, and it's just a mixture of emotions, which is fucking what you need. The storytelling in this film is absolutely phenomenal. Like it keeps building the mystery of like who the bomber is, While Jack is doing sorting the bus out, Harry is back at the police station trying to figure out who the fuck this bomber is. Um, but they realize as they go doing this, they're getting closer and closer, and Harry is like, um, sorry, is Jack at this point has checked the bomb out, okay? He's had a look at it, he's described it to Harry, and Harry has gone, right, okay, don't touch it. Classic decoy, circuit breaker, blah 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 blah. And then they realize, oh, there's like a watch on this bomb. I need to burp on the microphone, sorry. And as they've discovered this bomb, Harry is like, what kind of watch is it? And it's like a gold Rolex, cheesy gold Rolex. So he uses this to like, right, let's search the database for cops in the last 10 years who've like retired. So as they're doing this, and then Jack is trying to like figure out ways how to get people off. He speaks to the bomber. He's like, I gotta get the bus driver off because the bus driver's shot. So they get the bus driver off. But unfortunately, a lady freaks out and she like, I want to get off. The bomber sees it, presses a button, the stairs fall, and it you don't see it. Well, you see her go down under the bus, but then you just see her legs and the bus running over her. So it's quite a gruesome sight. You don't see any blood or anything, or bones popping or anything like that. So it's all good. It's quite a gruesome death, and everybody's very sad. There's desperation. Everyone's like, oh, what do we do here? There's a guy in the fucking bus that I really wanted to punch because he was like one of those typical, like, I can't be your man. I can't be your, and you're like, man, shut up. Stay silent. Nobody gives a fuck. There's a way off this. If not, you're going to fucking die anyway. Who gives a fuck, right? So still driving around. They're still driving around. They're on the motorway at this point, or the freeway at this point, and then they get word then saying like, "Oh, the freeway isn't finished yet," and everyone's like, "Fuck's sake, what do we do this now?" And Jack is like, "There's a gap missing. It's 50 feet long. We're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to jump the bus, basically." So they have to. So when you think about it, jump in a bus, and you're just like, is this gonna work? We're like, we don't know. It's an intersection, so it might have an incline. Yeah, maybe. So they're literally going to the seat of their pants in this one. So they go off, and it's quite funny because I don't know how many times they tried to cut to film this. There's no way, right? This bus could have jumped 50 feet from one intersection to another with a gap in the middle. By looking at it, it's like, the bus doesn't even fucking make it that far, right? Okay, the bus doesn't even make it that far. However, with a little bit of CGI work, right, the bus makes it, and everyone's very happy. Everybody's thinking, "Hey, yes, fucking stupid," and they end up at the LAX airport, the Los Angeles airport, where they just keep circling and circling and circling. But as they enter, they accidentally pop a tire. So now you've got a bomb on the bus that can't go above 50, and your bus has one, maybe two flat tires. So, right, I'm gonna have a little drink here. Bear with me. Lovely, lovely. Oh, lovely. I love doing this podcast. So they're just rolling around. They've come up with ideas. The bomber contacts Jack again, and then Jack's like, "Can you let me off so we can get like the money sorted, whatnot?" And But so convincing, the bomber's like, okay, no problem. Well, not okay, no problem. It's like, right, okay, I'll let you off, but no tricks, right? It's like, no tricks whatsoever, blah, 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 blah. Jack gets off, and they're trying to defuse the bomb, basically. So Jack goes under the bus, which is fucking crazy. Goes under it, tries to like bypass it, realizes you can't do that. It'll blow, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I I don't know what it is. A piece of debris or something on the floor just trips his like little cart. He almost goes under the wheel. He tries to hold on, tries to stick himself to something, uses a screwdriver, punches it into the bus, but then realizes, oh shit, that's the fuel tank. So now he's slipping. The people on the bus are trying to scramble to find him, drag him on the bus, and they realize, oh, there's fuel leaking. So now you've got a flat tire, a bus that can't go under 50 miles per hour, and you're losing fuel. Brilliant. Can't you can't complain. It's such an adrenaline rush, and it's so bang 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 continuous. The story's continuous as well. They've just got everything going on. The story like keeps getting the plot thickens basically all the way through the film they realize until they identify who Dennis Hopper's character really is, who is a guy called Howard Payne, who is a retired cop who specialized in explosives. It was an explosives expert and retired after an accident where he lost his thumb. Where through the entire film, you see him with one hand, with four fingers, without a thumb. Very good. Very good makeup on that. That's very, very convincing. Really, really good. That's not sarcasm. That's just really, really good. Really, really good. And they do this, and then Keanu Reeves, they find the address, and Jeff Daniels, his character Harry, and a group of police officers go over to raid his home. They think they got him, but unfortunately, a little red light, a noise, and explosions. Jack doesn't know what's going on, so he gets a phone call. Thinks it's Harry. Harry's like, he's like, "Tell me the good news, man." And then Harry's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. Sorry, Jack. Harry didn't make it." So Jack is like fuming at this point now. This is officially personal for Jack because he's lost a very good friend. And after the phone call, he goes absolutely fucking mental. Jack's just like looking around, doesn't know what to do. What can he do and whatnot? And then clicks. Now, through this film, through this bus section of the film, there's little like hints and tips that the bomber gives to Jack, saying about a wildcat behind the wheel, or don't want anybody on the bus. I got my eyes on you at all times. They thought the TV cameras, the news cameras, were like he was watching them and whatnot. Turns out that there is a small little camera behind like the mirror on the top right hand corner of the bus by the door. He's been watching the bus the entire time. So that's how he knows like a lady tried to get off the bus, what they've been doing all the time. And Sandra Bullock's character was wearing a jacket with that's from the University of Arizona. And I think the football team there is called the Arizona Wildcats. And that's where he got the name Wildcat from. So he realizes it and goes, right, can we get the TV cameras going? So the cops go to one of the TV cameras, loop the film, gets the signal from that camera, loops the film, records it, and then plays it, and then feeds it back to the bomber. So the bomber doesn't know this, right? So now this is the opportunity for everyone to come off the bus, which they eventually do in dramatic fashion. Obviously, it wouldn't be a Keanu Reeves film without Keanu Reeves sliding out of something on a panel with a girl wrapped around his arms, which is actually quite funny. They do this, and the bus eventually hits it hits, but it doesn't hit a plane, and it explodes. Which is quite funny because he said the bomber originally said that the bus can't go if the bus goes under 50, it'll explode. And you see the countdown of the speedometer on the bomb as it gets closer to the plane. It explodes dead on 50. All right. Now I'm sure it's like some of us were like, should it be under 50 or whatnot? Does 50 classes under 50? I don't think so, but that's my OCD going. So they think, yeah, we got him, blah 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 blah. So as they do after this, obviously, during that last phone call, the bomber was like, right, you need to deliver the money in this trash can at this street on this corner at this time. So they go ahead and do it. They're all waiting. By this point, Payne realizes that he's been duped. The bus has exploded. The camera's on loop. So he now has to do basically plan B, in which he dresses up as a cop, finds Annie, grabs Annie, takes her away. Annie doesn't realize who the bomber is, right? Jack knows who the bomber looks like, all right? So does Harry as well. So they're waiting there, waiting for him to, like, take the money. And then Jack is like, put the tracker on. And he goes, why? Just, no, just put the tracker on. And then they realize the tracker is moving. It's moving. And they're like, what the fuck? So Jack runs out to the trash can, removes the trash can, and there's a massive hole in the ground. So he jumps down, he realizes shit. Jumps down, follows the underground, obviously. Shouts out, sees a figure, shouts out freeze. Does the what do you do scenario, turns the person around, and then realizes shit, it's Annie. She's got a bomb on her chest. He doesn't know what to do. Payne is like laughing and just like telling him what to do and whatnot, blah blah blah. And then they both go. Now you think after the bus, this is the it. They've caught the thing, caught the bomber, blah 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 blah. No, what do? They go on a fucking train, get everybody off, shoots the fucking train driver. Dennis Hopper like looks at his money. Jack's on top of the fucking train trying to find a way to get on the fucking thing. Almost gets knocked off by like the fucking signals and whatnot on the ceiling. And what is it? Payne opens the money bag, sprays fucking this pink ink all over him, and he's like pissed. He's fucking pissed. Unloads his fucking gun, which is actually a pretty fucking nice little short MP5, I think. Loads it up, doesn't get Jack, obviously, throws it, climbs on top, and those two are fist fighting on top of the train. While the fist fight on the train, while Dennis Hopper is still holding like the fucking detonator, chokes Keanu Reeves and is like, "What you fucking do?" Blah 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 blah. Says, another the last one of those things. Keanu Reeves pushes him up, and then he realizes it. Dennis Hopper realizes, "Fuck, there's a signal right there. Can't move." Hits his head. His head comes off. He's dead. Bomber dead. Keanu Reeves has got the detonator. Tries and grabs, and he can't get her out. Rips the fucking bomb off her. Rips the wires out, which surprisingly is like, rip them out with confidence. Bombs diffused, gone. Why couldn't they do that in the fucking first place, right? They do that, and then they realize they get a message saying the tracks that they're on is incomplete. What do you know? What are you surprised? So Keanu Reeves speeds the fucking train up. They literally just sit there, and this train is like flying through the air and landing on its side. and it comes to a stop, and then it just ends with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock making out, and and that was it. Basically, that's the entire breadth of the film, and the film, right from start to finish, is just crazy. Um, a lot of far fetched stuff in that film, like um, you know, flying the bus over a 50 feet fucking gap in the railway. The train, them sitting in the train comfortably as it's like going through like the construction yard and going up and everything like that. And not, you know, all that stuff. It's super cheesy, such cheesy fucking action film. Um, but really, really intense. For me, the story of this film is like flawless, absolutely flawless. Sorry, I was having a drink. Absolutely flawless, and considered it's probably considered one of the best early '90s action films um, of all time. So it was so I've probably said what the in my intro when it was released in the UK. In the US, it was released earlier. So in the US, it was released June 10th, 1994 in the US. Just in the US. And the runtime of this movie is 116 minutes, which is close to 2 hours. It's a near 2 hour film, and it doesn't feel like a 2 hour film, but it's really really good. The budget of this film was 30 to 37 million dollars, and it smashed the box office with 350.4 million dollars. So that was really really good. Absolutely stunning film. It was considered it became the fifth highest grossing film in 1994, winning 2 Academy Awards for best sound effect editing and best sound, which is pretty fucking awesome. And yeah, just what one of the best films to come out in that era. Really, 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 really good. And on Rotten Tomato, I think it's got like a 95 rating, 95% Rotten Tomatoes as well. So this movie is very, very, very well praised. I like to put this up there with like some of the best action films in the 90s. With like uh notable exceptions with Die Hard with a Vengeance, The Matrix, Rush Hour as well. Fuck, I can't wait to talk about Rush Hour. And probably the second film as well, Speed 2, Cruise Control, uh, which, which, according to Wikipedia, is like considered the worst sequel of all time, which I don't think is the case. I think Speed 2 is as good as, Speed 1. But Speed 1 is actually better. But we'll talk about it another day. Um the music is great in it. The music is very intense, upbeaty as well, which is pretty cool. And that kind of follows the sequels throughout as well. Um yeah, if you haven't seen Speed before, give it a go. It's on Disney Plus right now in the action movie section. Um, so I definitely would check that out. It's really, really class, really, really good. Keanu Reeves is brilliant in it. All the actors in it are fucking brilliant. There's no bad actor in this film whatsoever. So yeah. If I if I give us a rating, it's 94. So give it around a 94. 1994. Solid 1993. Solid 1993. Definitely. Uh, really, really good film. Definitely check it out. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's it. Let's play some music and we'll get out of here. So. And that's it, everybody. Well, that is episode 13 of the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast. Thank you very much for listening. Again, apologies for the YouTube mishap. I will get the YouTube channel up and running as soon as possible. But in the meantime, there are 12 other episodes in the archives here on the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast, here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Anchor.fm. Please check us out all on there on audio form. We do appreciate it. We are trying to get us on more podcast platforms as well, including like Google Podcasts as well. So bear with us if you're waiting for us to get onto there. But in the meanwhile, apart from the audio providers that you can listen to us on, you can also check us out on Instagram at the Multiverse of Entertainment Pod. And us on YouTube, not on YouTube, sorry, that doesn't work at the moment. TikTok as well, at Mo Podcast on TikTok. Where each week, every week, you will get a snippet of the next episode coming out every Monday. So please go follow us on there. Check us out everywhere. Leave us a review as well. We would love that, and share with friends. We really do appreciate it. This podcast is for everybody. I try not to swear in every episode, but sometimes it just comes out. Okay, so this is for everybody. If you listen to the vet in work or on a long journey, I do appreciate it. I'm glad I could keep you company all the way through there. Next week is episode 14, and we're going back to the TV roots. And this one is going to be hilarious and fun to talk about, because we're going to be talking about a British classic TV show, and it is Open All Hours, which we're going to be talking about. Open All Hours, one of the classics by Ronnie Baker, one of the two Ronnies. Can't wait to talk about this. Until next week, guys, enjoy. Keep watching your movies. Keep watching your TV shows. Stay nerdy, and I'll catch you next week. Have a good one, guys.